Check one, two. All right, in part one, we're going to explore ancient African quantum cosmology. Now, prior to the creation of the material or physical universe, ancient Africans called Egyptians or Kemetic people idealized that there was a pre-existing universe. Okay? So in this episode, we're going to explore concepts that underpin ancient and modern Africans' view about the origins of the universe using a cosmological diagram or cosmogram for short. So the first component of the diagram is what's referred to as Nun. Okay, so Nun represents the primordial waters that existed before creation. Okay? And Nun is central to understanding the universe's origins before creation. It's depicted as a vast, dark, and chaotic expanse of spiritualized water or spiritualized energy matter. Okay, so Nun also symbolizes the formless and infinite potential that existed before the ordered universe even came into being. Okay, so traditionally, ancient Africans believe in one true and living God, goddess. You can't have a god without a goddess. You can't have a goddess without a god. Okay, the gods represented aspects of the supreme being, aspects of the universal mother and father, not individualized entities operating independently of one another. So again, the gods, plural, are functionaries of the one true and living God's aspects of the one true and living God or universal mother and father. They're not individualized entities operating independently of one another. They are all interconnected through an interdependent web of existence. Okay? Now, one other thing, within the primordial waters of Nun, there was a hidden intelligence. There was an invisible intelligence. Okay? And again, there's a latent form of energy, potential energy, a dormant form of energy within the waters. Okay? There also existed a super fine substance or a formless substance. So remember, in the pre-existing universe, there were no objects, there were no things, there were no particles, there were no atoms, there's no molecules. Okay? It's just no thingness. Now, nothing just means what? Something you can't see, like air, right? Nothing's here. I can't see the air, but it's there. So nothing is something you can't see. All right. And then the fourth aspect is that Nun represents eternity, infinite space. Okay. So the universe transformed from the water waves of Nun. Okay. So the second component of this cosmogram is Ptah. Okay, so from Nun, the first emergence of order and chaos arose. Okay, Ptah represents the aspect of the one true and living God that governs the act of creation through thought and speech. Ptah is also associated with the maintenance and the renewal of the universe. The universe is always transforming itself. It's always recreating itself. Okay. So in essence, the concept of Ptah is really profound, shaping not only Africans' understanding of the cosmos, but it influences their daily lives and practices. Okay, so what do we have so far? Scientifically speaking, Nun represents a unified wave energy field, and Ptah represents a unified wave energy force field. So out of the unified wave energy field came a force field, which is going to govern all the motion within the universe. Okay, third and last component of the cosmological diagram, atum. Atum represents the ability to materialize from the formless substance. Okay? Atum is the first thing and or object created that in turn creates every other thing. Okay, so Atum emerged from the creative thought and speech of Ptah. God said, let there be light, let there be stars, let there be plants, animals, minerals, so on and so forth. Okay, and Ptah, remember, is the unifier that governs the acts of creation. So Ptah fashions Atum, and Atum's potentiality lies within the primordial waters of creation. Okay? Atum is the atom of modern science. Okay, that's why we said that atoms make up everything. Everything's made of atoms. All right, so in sum, the roaring waterways of Nun represents the primordial ocean of creation, the latent wave energy field from which manifested a fundamental building block or fundamental particle referred to as atum, the atom of modern science. So according to the Kemetic people, the atum was the ability to materialize from the formless substance. Okay? So everything in the physical universe is made through atum or atuming. Okay? This account, interestingly enough, is the oldest of the three major creation accounts that we're going to talk about in the following video. Okay? This is over 20,000 years old, and it idealized what is called quantum theory in modern physics. Now look, quantum theory is wave-based physics. Okay, quantum theory is wave-based physics, and quantum theory is used to describe and predict the wave nature of particle behavior. So in this model over 20,000 years ago, it predicted quantum theory, or it was expressing quantum nature of particles. Okay? Now this is 20,000 years before the Western advent of quantum theory, which was starting to be developed in 1901. So in part 2, we're going to start to explain the components of the GAGUT equation and also associating them with the concepts and principles that we talked about in this episode.